You use that approach, you will get a job. It's it's guaranteed. In this episode, we're going to talk about how do you get out of a dead-end job. Interesting. I got a question just a day or two ago from a gentleman who's completed college and he's working in an organization. And actually, he's lucky to be employed in this within an African context where young people unemployment rates in most sub-Saharan African countries are crazily high. So this gentleman feels that he's blessed to have some kind of a job, but he knows that this job is a dead-end job. It's not making any use of his skills that he acquired in college or anywhere for that matter. He's not actually utilizing his intellectual capacity, right? He's just moving papers around. And he sees no upward mobility in this job. And he's asking, he needs the money, he needs the income to support himself and also his family. But how does he get out of it? In the sense that he reviewed one of my videos that talked about if you are a young unemployed graduate, some of the steps that you can take to get a job anytime, anywhere, regardless of how the economy looks. You use that approach, you will get a job. It's guaranteed. Basically, if you follow that script, and I'm going to share that video in the description, and then at the end of this video, you will have it pop up on the screen. About the strategies that you can use to get a job regardless of the economy, regardless of the country that you live in. It works like magic. So he reviewed that video and he was excited, beaming with passion, beaming with joy. And he said, wow, I wished I could do that. As somebody who already has a job, I wished I could do that because that model required some type of sacrifice. That I enumerated some skills that new graduates would have to acquire within, say, 60 to 90 days, acquire that skill, master those kind of skills, master them to the letter, and then offer to volunteer with prospective companies for 90 days. Volunteering, no pay, and get the opportunity to demonstrate those skills that I enumerated in that video, which I said I will include in the description, and that would unlock amazing doors, amazing breakthroughs for you. So he was going through that script, and he's like, "Wow, I'm very happy. I wished I knew this thing when I was about to complete college or university." But is it too late for me to do something like that? I said, no, it's never too late. So this video is actually going to share with you what you need to do if you are in that situation. So let's get it going. So basically, it's very, very simple. If you are in a job that does not utilize any of your intellectual skills or intellectual capabilities, a job that offers no prospect of upward mobility, then you are indeed in a dead-end job. Dead-end jobs would typically result in the skill that you acquired initially, actually diminishing with times, like law of diminishing returns. It's like a muscle. Your brain is like a muscle. It needs to be used. If it's not used, it will turn flaccid. If you have skills, if you have knowledge that is not being used, not being applied, very soon that knowledge diminishes in value, right? So you have to have a strategy that, okay, this thing is paying me, paying me X amount of money that I'll be able to, I'm able to pay my rent or a few things here and there, but this thing doesn't have any life in it for me. So you have to have that honest discussion with yourself, right? And begin to plug your way out of that hole. So I would say there are basically two ways of looking at it. My advice would be you follow the script that I enumerated in that video, that you acquire the skills that I talked about. So the soft skills, the digital skills that are needed, that are hot cake in today's market, and you master them. I listed all of them there. You master those skills whilst you are working in your dead-end jobs. So you're going to utilize your evenings. You're going to utilize your weekends. There are days that you're going to make sacrifices. Basically, you can't hook up with your friends. I know people out there, sports and soccer and those kind of things. But look, life is an individual game. Life will call you to answer, and the answer that you have to give to life will not be a group answer. It's going to be an individual answer. You're going to have to answer to life yourself, not group. So leave your friends alone. Your friends are going to be maybe enjoying themselves, partying over the weekend and that kind of thing. You cannot do that if you're in a dead end job. Yours is to turn your free time, loose time into currency. And this currency that I'm talking about is skill, additional skills. So you get these skills that I talked about, you sharpen them, use about 3 months. And within that 3 months, you have to come across as the best of the best of the best in those kind of skill set, right? Then, now that you've mastered those kind of skills, there are two ways. Approach your company. Approach your boss. Or for very small companies, you can approach your CEO directly. And you go to them with this kind of script. Sir or madam, I'm very happy working here. I'm excited, about the prospect of working in this organization, the people that I've come to know and what I'm learning and everything. I just wanted you to know that over the past couple of months, I've been upgrading myself at an accelerated pace. I enrolled on these X, Y, and Z programs to improve my skills in these categories or these areas. And I'm glad to say that I'm super proficient in this and that and that. I'm just trying to this, that, and that is just placeholders that you put those kind of skills that you acquired in those placeholders. So you've mastered these skills, blah blah blah, right? So you're reaching out to them since you work there, that you think you have the capacity to handle extra responsibility. So is there anything that, apart from what you're doing, which in your mind is dead end, is there anything apart from that dead end thing that you are doing, although you're not going to tell them that what you're doing is dead end, is there anything that you can do utilizing these skills to at least help? Tell them that you would even want to volunteer, right? Because you see, the key thing here, you have to be very, very strategic in your approach. Your approach is not about the money. I always keep telling young people, don't focus about the money first. Your approach is your ability to gain relevant skills and experience, or where to utilize your skills, because the skills become sharper when you get the opportunity to utilize them. So your objective here is to get out of that cul-de-sac or that dead end, right? You are in a place where you are, there is no outlet. You are trying to find an exit valve for you to get out of that dead end. So the way to get out of that dead end is to be offered an opportunity for you to use your skill. Because if you are offered an opportunity to use your skill and you demonstrate high excellency in the utilization of that kind of skill, what is going to happen is it's going to open a world of opportunities for you. So you talk to the boss or you talk to the CEO if it's a very small company, that, look, sir, I have, in addition to what I'm doing, I've been able to acquire skills. Let's say digital marketing. So I can help promote these companies' products and services. I can actually help augment the functions of the marketing department with these latest skills that I've acquired. Frankly, I just remembered I gave this same advice to. He wasn't in a dead end situation, but I saw that he had more potential than he currently was being allowed to demonstrate in his current position. This was one of my nephews that is working, is doing very well, and I knew that he had more in his tank than his organization could permit him to use. So I encouraged him to dive into an area of marketing and digital marketing, go deep into some areas, and then package himself and present to his bosses that he has this extra capacity to do that, and that would unlock possibilities for him, and that would make the company actually value him, and actually value also translates to money, because when you become super valuable, your company is now scared that they might lose you, and therefore they will sweeten the pot for you in terms of compensation and entitlements and the rest, because nobody wants to lose their golden gem. So this is something that I know that works, and today I think he's very happy. He was given, he did exactly that, presented himself, and what happened is that the company gave him extra responsibility with extra perks, and he's happy, the company's happy, right? If he had just stayed and done what he had done, then he probably would have been where he was probably a year or two ago, and it's like, it's like a slow motion kind of thing. But scaling up has the ability of actually accelerating your career growth. So that's one strategy. If that strategy doesn't work, then that means you're working in a dead end company. There's a difference between a dead end role and a dead end company. Working in an organization that no matter how much you scale up, there is no room for you. That is a dead end company, my friend. That one, you have to strategize to cut your losses and get out. Cut it quick and get out. How do you do that? If that is your main source of income, you don't have any other income, it's difficult and that kind of thing, you need to step up, and in your country that you are in, it's very difficult to get a job anywhere, right? Let alone having one and letting it just go because you are in a dead-end job, right? So that's the strategy you're going to adopt. Is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit, quote unquote, more riskier than the previous one, but it works. Okay, it works. So what you do is that you scale up again. Once again, 60 to 90 days, super scale. If it's something that requires more in-depth skill, it may take you a little bit longer, maybe 5-6 months. But you are utilizing your weekends fully. You are utilizing your evenings and holidays. You are completely all in skills development. So once you've done that and you've got to the level that you are really confident in your abilities, what you do is that, okay, you look for organizations in industries that you are passionate about. So let's say you want to work where you are a finance guy, and this where you work, it's like you're just moving papers around. There's nothing happening. There's no career growth, nothing. I mean, it's stagnant. And let's say you have a love for the pharmaceutical industry, right? You have a love, or maybe the oil and gas industry. What do you do? What you do is that after you've come up with some of the top cutting edge skills that you could acquire, then you make a list of, let's say, the top 10 oil and gas companies that you know within your area, or top 10 pharmaceutical companies, if it's pharmaceutical companies that appeals to you and that industry actually gets your juices boiling, if that is what, because it's important that you get to work in a place that you are passionate about. It's so important. I've done that and it didn't feel like work at all. I just enjoyed every day that I was going to work. So you need to do that. So once you do that, narrow it down to the top 10. Approach them. Approach them that, look, I'm working at this organization right now. Take a day off, take 2 days off of your dead end job and go out. You get your CV or resume, get a cover letter and present it to the hiring manager, or present it. You have to be aggressive here. You probably have to hit them up or find the best people to reach out to on LinkedIn, right? In those industries, and just present it to them this way: that, look, I'm currently working in this organization. I feel excited that I have a job. I feel responsible as an adult that I'm working, but I realize that my skill set is not being utilized at all. I also see that there are no career prospects for me, but I didn't want to sit on my laurels and wait to see what life will happen to me. I wanted to take my destiny in my own hands, and for that matter, I went ahead and scaled up. These are all the areas that I'm super proficient in. I'm not just average at the proficiency in those skills. I am super proficient in these areas. And I am also I've always been passionate about the oil and gas industry. It fascinates me. I'm excited about it. Anytime I see your company on TV, it's like, wow, I'm excited about the kind of service that you render or the product that you sell. It will be a dream come true for me to one day find myself in the oil and gas industry. Now, this is what I want to say. Will it be okay, or madam, that I would want to leave my current role, and I will explain. I will give more context today, and possibly come and volunteer in your organization for the next 60 to 90 days. You don't have to pay me, but I want to really apply my skill. I want to see if you have any place that I could come to help, so that number one, I will do everything to help in your organization in this particular area. So if you studied marketing and you've actually advanced your skill in, let's say, search engine optimization, and the company that hasn't done any SEO means search engine optimization. The company hasn't done any search engine optimization work on their website or on any platform. You don't see any footprint of search engine optimization. Say, look, sir, I've done this. I'm so passionate about this industry. I have a job, but I'm prepared to put it on the line because of the passion I have for this industry. If you would give me that opportunity to come, once you let me know, I will leave my current position. You don't have to worry about the risk I'm taking. I'm taking enough risk already by actually being in a position that has no career prospect. I would be more than happy to do that. I will be super excited because I really, really, really am curious about this industry. Wow. Now, when you put this like this, you're going to ask me, right now you probably are talking to yourself, wow, that's crazy, that's risky, that's mad. Yes, it's mad. Because when you're in desperate situation, you have to do desperate things. But let's reverse engineer this. Let's actually reverse engineer the risk profile of doing something like this. Now, if I was the hiring manager or I was the department head, and a young person approached me like that, frankly speaking, that would be the first time I've experienced that. I would say, wow, I never knew young people like that existed. For a young person who is earning something in a country with very, very high unemployment, to offer to give us a piece of his time or his skill for nothing when he's already earning something, that tells volumes about this person. I can tell you for a fact that most serious hiring managers, they know you are willing to risk, and they like people like that. Most companies like people like that, they who are very passionate, very upfront, very honest people, they are rare. That breed of employees are rare. So then when you land on their radar, trust me, this is what's going to happen. They're going to discuss it amongst themselves, and they would want to bring, if they agree to bring you on, they will never leave you hanging dry. Although, don't bang your hope on it. I want you to go with the expectation that you're not going to earn anything for 3 months. So go with that mindset that if they offer you anything, it will just be an icing on the cake. Okay? Don't go with a half-hearted attitude that, okay, don't go with the attitude that you're going to set them a trap. That, okay, yeah, you half-heartedly are telling them that you are coming to volunteer for free, but you are almost about telling them that, oh, but I will need some money if you can give me. That shouldn't be your attitude. You have to go all in on the other side so that you come across as genuine. And when you come across as genuine, they will respond likewise. Because if it was me, I'm going to think, man, this is a young guy. He's coming, he's arrested. He's coming, he needs transportation, he needs to eat, that kind of thing. Man, that would be inhumane. If the company is a profit-making company, they will not do that. And frankly, they are looking for passionate people like you. They have a lot of employees there who sit there, just watch the clock. When it's 5 o'clock, they get home. Right? The company employees are only looking at, okay, when is it 30th or 31st of the month to collect some salary and get a heck out of here? They're probably about half of the employees are like that. And you come in with that kind of passion, that zeal, they will love it. Now, how do you even get to the point where you'll be able to take that kind of risk if you're in a dead-end job? You say, oh wow, Isaac, this is crazy risk, man. I can't really afford to take that kind of risk. Okay, this is how it is. Do you know that the dead-end job that you're in is a big risk? Because you are not really adding much value. Ask yourself, if you were sick and out of the job for, let's say, 2 weeks, God forbid you are sick, will anybody remember you whilst you are away sick? Will any of your higher ups, will your name even click in their mind? Is there something special about you that was sticking there? Oh wow, Alfred has not shown up for 2 weeks. Yeah, we know he's sick, but it's like, wow, we miss this guy, man. This guy, when he's here, there's a presence. When he's here, things move. When he's here, it's like the whole atmosphere is here. There's productivity and things. Does it come across that way? If the environment doesn't come across that way, then you're in a big risk. You are only as good as the next young kid on the block who's also finished university and actually is younger, less experienced, and can come, take your job, and they'll pay him or her less. That's how risky the position you are in is in, right? Because you can easily be replaced by a younger, more naive, right? Because the job you are in doesn't require a lot of IQ. It doesn't require a lot of brain power. So it's mundane things you're doing, shifting papers around. So if a young kid down the block comes in and they offer to pay him half what they are paying you, and you say, yeah, I'm happy to do this. You are toast at that time. You are complete toast. So you sitting down on your laurels, not upgrading yourself, not taking some calculated risk, is a big risk. It's a bigger risk. So how do you mitigate that kind of risk? One of the things that you could do is the time that you are scaling up, decide you're only going to live on half of your income. Half of your income. No matter, I don't care how much they pay you. Find a way to survive on half of your income and stash the other half away. If you did that for 6 months, you would have had 3 full months of salary, right? That is if you were consuming at 100% of your salary. If you stash half of your salary for 6 months, that's a 3 months full salary. If you wanted to be eating rice and beans every day and living on 50% of your income, you could stretch this game to 6 months. and then you have that income there. That means there are so many things you can't do. You need to cut your budget to the skin, to the bone, right? If you need to go and live with an uncle or a sister or whatever to make this happen, make that happen. Do anything to make this happen. And then once you get that kind of thing, that becomes a buffer. So even if the organization doesn't give you the 3 months pay, you have something to fall back on. But in all certainty, if you go with that level of genuineness, if they wouldn't even pay you your previous salary, they will give you something to get you going. But the key thing is, once you have the opportunity, that is when the game begins. You are going to be their best employee. You're going to be there, and I spoke about it in the video that I talked about, that I was going to put as a link in the description and as an end video on the screen. You're going to be the best. Because in most African context, people are lazy, especially older employees. They are super lazy. They don't want to train. They don't want to scale up. They just are sitting there, entitlement mindset. Give me. Here you come, a volunteer who's coming in every day. You are 30 minutes early. You take shorter lunch breaks. You are one of the last people to leave. You are actually solving problems that these guys who've been there in the company 5-6 years don't even ask to solve. They don't even have a clue how to solve them. And you are using cutting-edge technology. You are the one teaching them how to use digital tools. Man, by the time the game is over, it wouldn't even be up to a man when they offer you a full-time gig. And my friend, this is how to get out of a dead-end job. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section and I'll do well to respond to them. And on top of that, I would like you to subscribe to this channel. Anytime I post videos like this, you will be notified and you will not be left out. Thank you for sticking around. See you.